Plates ready? This is Food School, Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Want to feel amazing, love the way you look in the mirror, and perform your absolute best in the gym, at work, and in life? You're definitely in the right place. Food. It's you. It builds every single cell of you. And if there is one thing every human being must master, it's food. Because at the very least, eating, you do it every day, several times a day, every single day. You might as well get good at it. I'm your host, Shurina from createyourself.today, your personal nutritionist and plate watcher, your diet guide and explorer, your fat loss coach and food inspector. And just someone with a lot of passion and obsession and curiosity for healthy food, healthy diets, nutrition, optimized human performance, everything and absolutely anything you put in your grocery shopping cart, your fridge, on your plate, and in your mouth. It's my business. Food School, on a mission to help you eat better daily.
It's the last time I talk about food. It's the last time I talk about food.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. So, did you enjoy some lean pork chops yesterday to get your thiamine or vitamin B1 that we know helps you to convert carbohydrates and also participates in converting into energy other sources of energy like fats and sometimes protein? So, did you enjoy some pork chops or maybe some flax seeds? If you haven't, and if you are not sure what we are talking about, you missed our episode yesterday, then get back, re-listen, because that was an important one, because we all need energy, right? We need energy for everything, for our work, for our life, for our relationships, for our emotions even, and especially for our workouts. Like if you don't have energy, well, forget about workouts. Maybe you don't want to work out that much because your body, your brain feel that you don't have a lot of energy and you're not eating vitamin B1 that helps your body to get this energy. And guys, I want you to understand that our body is not a machine. It's a biological system consisting of many different organs and tissues and cells that have to come together to work on a common goal of keeping you alive. And sometimes they don't work that well together. Sometimes we ourselves create these conditions that messes up with our different systems and don't allow them to work properly, right? Like take our digestion. That is our digestive system is a very complex system. It starts in your mouth, it ends, where it ends. And anything in between, there are different processes. Like in order for your digestive system to properly digest, absorb and assimilate nutrients, to remove stuff, to also take care of not getting harmed in the process, meaning different bacteria, pathogens can come in with your food and can mess up your health and your digestion and your energy. So it's a complicated process, and your body releases different digestive juices for different foods. Then your gut microbiome absorbs a lot of nutrients, ferments some nutrients, releases some nutrients, and all of that is influenced by your hormones and your body temperature and your whether you are in a carbohydrate or glycogen depleted state or not, your blood sugar, your insulin levels, like how your pancreas works, all of that is working together to create hopefully the best possible outcome. And guys, you know how I always talk about variety, adding a lot of different foods into your diet so you get the most amount of nutrients, but also so certain nutrients that might be harmless in smaller amounts but might be harmful in bigger amounts don't accumulate in your body, right? Like for example, if you eat kale all the time, that usually comes actually to only juices and smoothies, like a kilo a day, that actually can harm your body. And so if you've been eating a lot of one food, it can actually cause allergies and sensitivities. And in order for you to get back to normal, you just need to eliminate that food, sometimes for some time, sometimes for a long time, depending, on each individual situation. So adding variety is the key, but also, of course, it allows you to eat more nutrients. And when it comes to variety, for example, my own personal practice that is also great for your digestive system, and you'll understand why soon. So when it comes to variety, I have this practice that it's not, written in stone, and it's not always scheduled. But what I'm trying to do is when we take every single week, so I have my fish days and my shellfish days, and then my meat days, and then my organ meat days, and then my fasting days, and then my vegan days. And so some days are higher in carbohydrates, some days are totally ketogenic. And that allows my body to kind of reap the benefits of all of it, and also get all of the nutrients that my body might be missing or might be needing. So I have this, again, days when I eat more fish, or days when I eat only meat, be that maybe pork, so sometimes poultry days. So I'm eating more eggs and duck and turkey and chicken and quail eggs. Even there, I am always incorporating variety. And then also I have a veggie of the day. So when I say, you gotta eat a variety of fruit and vegetables take priority because of their health benefits and all the nutrients that they contain. When I say, introduce variety, it doesn't mean that you gotta introduce variety on one single plate every single day. That actually works against your digestive system and doesn't help your body to reap all the benefits of different nutrients in different foods. I'd prefer you to go for variety, like having a veggie of the day. Sometimes I buy a head of cauliflower, or a head of broccoli, or this romanesco cabbage that I'm absolutely loving in Italy, and I just have that the whole day, meaning like with different meals. And then if it's my fish day, for example, right, then I have fish and that, and adding some neutral things like onions or mushrooms that are super high in potassium and super low in calories, but that also add that umami flavor or savoriness. So that's how you can introduce variety. It doesn't have to be on a meal-to-meal basis, like just putting a bunch of different foods on your plate. But I prefer you to do day by day, or at least meal by meal. So one meal is just fish and with some vegetables. The other meal is some organ meats, or maybe an omelette. And when it comes to variety, and why I prefer you to eat different foods at different meals or different days, because different nutrients work well together, and some nutrients do not work well together in different foods. And if you take one particular food, then it makes sense that nutrients in that food will work much better together than if you combine it with a different food. Like, for example, if you combine meat and fish, they not the best combination. I'd prefer to eat just fish for now, and then the next meal on the next day just meat. And there are the food combining rules that take into account how our digestive system works, at least what we know for now, right? So for example, meat and potato is one of the worst combinations. And if you feel bloated eating that way, or fish and potatoes, or any starchy like sweet potatoes, if you're not feeling your best after that meal, and you're kind of sleepy or just having discomfort in your stomach, that's normal. That's because that's not the best combination for digestion, because again, our stomach, for example, right, it releases different digestive juices, and also your pancreas releases different enzymes in order for you to digest foods, and different foods require different digestive juices, different enzymes, and they also have their own time during which they go through digestive system. Like for example, take sweet fruit. They require no acidity. They are digested in alkaline environment, and for that purpose, they basically sweet fruit does not need to spend much time in your stomach at all. So it goes right into your intestines, and that's where it spends most of its time being digested. But even then, when you eat sweet fruit alone especially, it takes only about like maybe 20 minutes to be digested. But if you combine it with other foods, especially with protein-rich foods, then that fruit gonna ferment in your stomach, and you're gonna have gas, and you might feel bloated, and just different discomfort feeling in your stomach. So combining food is a thing. And if you don't believe me, just for a couple of days, eat just one food at a meal. It might be a little bit boring, I know, but try me. Eat just fish or just meat. And there are all these diets like carnivore diet or even keto diet. The reason why a lot of people feel also much better digestion wise on those diets is because, let's say you're eating carnivore, you like eating just one type of food exactly for a meal. And it's not that that food is better than plants. It's much easier for your body to digest one food than to digest many foods combined in one meal. So again, for example, some of the basics of food combining. Protein-rich foods, and that includes all sorts of fish, all sorts of meats, nuts and seeds also are considered to be protein-rich foods. So they require acidic environment in your stomach, and they're not well combined with starches that require alkaline enzymes and more alkaline environment in your stomach, even though our stomach is, pretty acidic by itself. But still, it can be more alkaline or less or more acidic. And so starch and protein do not go well together. But what protein do go well together are non-starchy vegetables, like, your green leafy vegetables, your asparagus, your also Brussels sprouts, bell peppers, but also raw carrots, for example, are considered to be non-starchy foods. When you cook it, it becomes starchy. So there are all these small details. And then when it comes to starches, like sweet potatoes, they best combine with non-starchy vegetables. So starches like potatoes, like grains, like some beans, not all of them, but most of the beans are also starchy foods. They are well combined with non-starchy vegetables. And then protein-rich foods are also combined best with non-starchy vegetables. And again, I'd rather you not mix fish and chicken and pork in the same meal. Eat it for several meals. That's why also all-you-can-eat buffet work so badly for a human body, because people combine all these foods all together, and it's not that you eat that much at that meal. It's just that you eat all of that food together. Like if you eat a whole bunch of chicken, just chicken, believe me, you're gonna feel much better if you eat a whole bunch of stuff, even if you eat less calories. The same goes for potatoes. If you eat just potatoes and maybe with some green leafy vegetables or non-starchy vegetables, believe me, you're gonna feel like day and night compared to when you get this meal with meat, for example, potatoes with meat. That's not gonna sit that well in your stomach. You're gonna feel heavy even if you eat less calories on paper. Let's take fruit. Fruit is supposed to be eaten alone, not at the end of your meal. The best practice with fruit to eat it alone, allow it to be digested for I would recommend 30 minutes, right? Allow it to be digested and then eat the food, or have a fruit meal. Green smoothie also works. So fruit with leafy greens work perfectly. With other vegetables, fruit by fruit basis. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But that's why also green smoothies work so well when they're done properly, because it's a great combination. A little bit of fruit, a lot of greens, avocados, by the way, olives, and cold pressed fats combined well with anything, even with fruit. So, for example, if you make green smoothie with greens, with some avocado, and with some, let's say, I don't know, some berries or a banana, then that for your digestion, that's gonna work fine. So fruit should be eaten alone. Milk, dairy milk should be always eaten alone or just left alone because milk doesn't work for most of the adult population. And when I say most, like most people cannot digest lactose, for example. 60% or 70% of people in the world cannot officially digest that. Like fermented dairy products, like non-sugary dairy yogurt or some cheeses in small amounts, that they seem to work well with other foods. Mostly, like, it depends, but they might work well depending again on the particular food you're combining it with. But I would not definitely, if I had a choice, I would never combine dairy product with anything else. Maybe with a little bit of fresh fruit, but again, you just have to try and see. And if it doesn't work for your stomach, it's not your fault. Some foods are just not meant to be combined. And yogurt by itself might be fine. Fruits by themselves might be fine, but together might be not a great idea. And dairy milk especially not a great idea. That's why you might feel bloated when you have this fancy coffee drink or tea drink with some dairy milk, or maybe something dairy added to that. And that's why, for example, black coffee or regular tea works also that much better. There are a few reasons, but food combining, how your digestive system works, is one of those reasons. So let's recap. For variety, to get maximum amount of nutrients with the least possible harm, you want to introduce variety. But because our digestive system is not some oven that burns stuff, but instead it's a complex system with digestive juices, digestive enzymes, with microbiome, because of that, you have to take into account how you introduce variety. So I do not suggest you to introduce variety in one single meal, like a lot of it. I would even suggest to, again, have fish days like I do. You might try it, or at least have it for meal by meal basis. And your meals should be at least 3 hours apart, because it takes time for your body to digest foods, especially things like proteins or starch also, but proteins especially. So you want to introduce the most variety. Like, again, I, for example, have my fish days, my shellfish days, my organ meats days, my poultry days, and then my vegan days, and higher carbohydrate, lower fat days, my fasting days. So I'm not gonna bore you with the complexity of my systems that actually become simple after you get used to them. But what I am gonna bore you with, and I really want you to apply it to your life, because that's gonna improve your digestion, but it's also gonna improve how you look and how you feel on a daily basis. Because if your digestion goes smooth, you're gonna have more energy available to you for your life, for your workouts, and whatever the hell you want to do with your life. So that's why it's important to also make sure that your digestion runs smoother, so you have more energy, because digestion is quite a digestive energy intensive process. So the least amount of energy goes into your digestion, the more energy you're gonna have for yourself, and also the less amount of weight problems you're gonna have. So food combining rules, the basics of them, because there are also complexities, like, for example, really acid fruit, like let's say berries, they are acid fruits, are not really well combined with bananas, according to theories. But I'm not sure how truthful that is and how precise you gotta be, but I'm aware of these rules, and whenever I have a choice, I try not to eat sweet fruits with the acid fruits, or at least I try to go from sweet fruit to acid fruit, because then your body can transition from being from having an alkaline environment to more of an acidic environment that is required to digest a sweet acid fruit. Tomatoes, by the way, is an acid fruit. And it's better digested and assimilated and processed with protein-rich foods. That being said, so the basics of full combining. Starches like potatoes, like beans, like grains, they are well combined with non-starchy vegetables, like green vegetables of any sort. Again, that might be leafy greens, that might be kale, that might be Brussels sprouts or asparagus. Non-starchy vegetables are also things like bell peppers or non-cooked carrots, mushrooms also go to non-starchy vegetables. When it comes to tomatoes, also combine them either with that meal of starch, that can be okay, or combine them with protein-rich foods, but don't mix them all together. Anyhow, starches and non-starchy vegetables go well together. Then protein-rich foods, your seafood, your meat, your poultry, your eggs, your nuts and seeds actually go here too. They also are well combined with non-starchy vegetables, but they're not well combined with beans, with grains, with potatoes. Fruit should go separately. Again, either eat it before your main meal, like 30 minutes before at least, or eat it 2-3 hours after a meal. Melons, by the way, guys, should go alone altogether. Like melons, eat them alone or leave them alone. That's because they're very rich in water. They're very alkaline, and they take almost no time to digest, and so they need to be eaten alone. And you can wait then for 30 minutes and eat something else. But that's why melons cause a lot of digestive issues for a lot of people, because you combine them with stuff. Don't combine them with stuff and you'll be just fine. So fruit goes alone. Dairy products, best to eat them alone, unless it's, a little bit of cheese on something you cook, because amount also matters. And then things like avocados, olives, and cold pressed fats, they combine well with other foods. So that's the basics for food digestion. And again, it's going to give you more energy. It's going to help you to maintain your appetite and your weight. And again and again, you're going to have more energy, and that's really important, and less digestive issues. I don't think anyone enjoys having gas, being bloated, or feeling stuffed and heavy in your stomach. And when it comes to variety, I'd rather you introduce it on a daily basis, like having a veggie of the day, or at least on a meal by meal basis, and each meal should be apart from the other meal at least 3 hours, because that again takes time for your body to at least go through the digestion process. That's it, guys. If you have any questions about proper food combining, if you're not sure how to organize your variety on a meal-by-meal basis or day-by-day basis, feel free to schedule our session. That's going to help you. I'm going to answer all of your questions, all of your specific questions for your specific food combinations that you might love, but you're just not sure whether they work for you or not. So I might suggest for you better combinations that are similar but work better for your digestion. So feel free to schedule our session, our Skype, WhatsApp session, or call, whatever works better for you. I do all of them. So use the link in the show notes and schedule our session. And also in the show notes, you will find a link to a food combining chart where you can learn a little bit more about food combining. And as an experiment, guys, try that mono meal a couple of days, and you'll be surprised how much better your digestion works. So try it and see for yourself. That being said, now it's time for me to pack my bags and get my ass to Zurich. Freeze my ass a little bit, but also there is some work. I'm gonna give a talk before going back home for holidays. I'm gonna go to Zurich, explore that, give a talk, and work with a couple of clients of mine there, and hopefully eat well according to food combination chart, because sometimes it is challenging when you travel, but I'm doing my best still. I'm always trying to do better, not being perfect, but doing better. So thank you again for listening, for your attention, for your energy and enthusiasm with all your questions that you are sending me on a regular basis. So thank you for that. To schedule our session, learn how to eat properly for better digestion, more energy, better fitness and weight. And as usual, guys, till next time, eat better daily.